cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off into fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know?
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? How's it going? Happy Friday. It actually is kind of a happy Friday, but I want to talk about, and I feel like nobody's covering it, the sentencing of Tiffanie Lucas that executed her two young boys, Jayden and Maurice. We're going to get into it today. This is actually a part 4, so I didn't know I was going to cover it. And what's up, everybody? Melissa, Carly, Val, Trina, Petty. How you guys doing? Very much a pop-up live. Sadie's mama. I just wanted to pop up, and I've been doing that lately. I've been popping up. We'll call it Lunch with Jay, right? It's a little after lunch, but it's 1 o'clock. What's up, Allie Callie? How you doing? Happy Friday. Hit the like button, please. I want to get this into the algorithm. Leanne Wilson, what's up? Now, our girl Jennifer Coffendorfer was just on here the other day, and now she was on Court TV this morning about this case. So let's go over it. I wanted to kind of wait a little bit till people roll in. Let's start off with the sentencing, the overview. We'll listen to the judge. We'll listen to some of the statements from grandma and auntie. So we're going to do a full episode today, probably 45 minutes or an hour. So strap in, hang in there. Let's get justice for Jayden and Maurice, the two boys that were executed. Go back and watch the other parts. Part 3. I have 3 parts. This is part 4. You can see full body cam of this case and what happened. All right. So Tiffanie Lucas, now 33, sentenced to life in prison with parole. When we were hoping for the death penalty. All right. That didn't happen. So let's find out what did happen. And let's talk about it. And then if you want to watch something this weekend, go back and watch all 4 parts. I think it's important that you get the awareness of this because we just saw the Susan Smith case. Susan Smith is in the same predicament that she's in. Susan Smith took her children's lives. She drowned them to death. She drowned them and they sunk underwater as their last breaths were taken. And she was up for parole last week after 30 years. Now that's what's going to happen with this Tiffanie Lucas for shooting her boys in the head one by one. So thank you, Sadie's mom. That's exactly what's going to happen. 30 years. She's going to be up for parole. She's probably going to be a skanky, like she looks. She's going to be a skank, messing around with the security in there, the guards and all that. All right, let's watch and we'll talk as we watch. I'm going to interact with you. Members only, Sunday, 1 p.m. I'll post that after I'm done here.
In prison. That is the sentence just delivered today to Tiffanie Lucas, the Bullitt County mother who shot and killed her 2 boys. Our Ian Hardwick and photojournalist Addie Hill spent the morning in the courtroom. Ian, some of the family we spoke to said that life sentence did not go far enough.
Brooke, many of the boys' family members said during victim testimony that they wanted Lucas to go away with life without parole. After this, she's eligible for parole within the next 20 years. And throughout the court hearing this case, Lucas's lawyers insisted the mother of 2 was having a psychotic episode. That came back.
This is even worse, you guys. After 20 years, she's going to be eligible for parole. So I'm back on at 4 p.m. today, y'all. 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm just coming to give you the sentence of Tiffanie Lucas, sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole, which just happened in the Susan Smith case. You guys, this is out of control. This is out of control. One of them drowns her boys and they see themselves sink and then they take their last breaths underwater in a car. And she shot one in the head and then shot the other in the head. Completely took their faces away from them. Their faces are not recognizable. I'm sure there were no open caskets in this. All right. So listen up. We're going to go over the sentencing right now. You're going to see all this. How old is she? 33 years old. This nasty, emotionless Tiffanie Lucas. You can see her face right there. 33 years old, took 9-year-old and 6-year-old Jayden and Maurice's life.
Up during closing arguments where they said Lucas believed her kids were the targets of a child sex trafficking conspiracy. The boys' families shook their heads at that, saying even if her mental break was brought on by drugs, Lucas brought it on herself. Bobbie Baker, Maurice's aunt, cared for little boy Jayden too, and says she'll be at every parole hearing going forward.
The only peace I have in this is knowing that you can't hurt them anymore. And nobody's gonna ever be able to fix my brother's heart. Nobody can fix that.
All right, there is the father that didn't pass away, obviously. Both of them had two separate fathers, Jayden and Maurice. Now, I believe this is Jayden's father. The family of Jayden also accepted Maurice, even though there were two fathers. One died, there's the other. The other family accepted both little boys and said they'd take them in. And yet, she still took their lives. Hit the like button, y'all. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership for Sunday.
Baker's brother, Maurice's father, took the stand in a last-minute
It is
change of heart today in the
Maurice.
courtroom, saying Lucas kept his kid away from him since the day he was born. And although the courtroom, the family members of those boys applauded as Lucas went away to serve that life sentence behind bars, they know their pursuit of justice will last as long as she's having those parole hearings. For now, I'm live in Shepherdsville. Ian Hardwick, WHAS 11.
All right, Shepherdsville, Kentucky. They're now going to have to face what Susan Smith's family did every 20 years. And then 2 years after, they're going to have to face the parole board and tell them why she shouldn't get out. This is unbelievable. Let's watch this judge. I don't feel like he was really hard on her. It's a quick sentencing. Check it out. My God, I'm not happy with the sentencing, but that's why she pled guilty, is because she didn't want the death penalty. Listen up.
I cannot imagine the sheer horror these children must have experienced seeing their mother with a gun. The sheer horror that second child had as he heard the discharge of that weapon for the first child. And maybe even both of them seeing their mother pull the trigger, taking their life. At this time, the court will state for the record, the court has considered the probation pre-sentence report, arguments of counsel, the contents of the file, and no sufficient reason having been shown by judgment not be pronounced and sentence imposed. Case number 23 CR 404, Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Tiffanie Lucas, as to count one. The court will adjudge the defendant guilty of the offense of murder and fix her sentence at life in prison.
Life.
Count two, the court will adjudge the defendant guilty of the offense of murder and fix her sentence at life in prison. This time, the court will order that the Sheriff's Department deliver the defendant to the custody of the Corrections Cabinet for service of her sentence of imprisonment. That's all for today. Court will be adjourned.
That's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not happy with that sentence at all, but let's see what she had to go through. Paul, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. Imagine if we feel this way. Paul, I know you feel this way. This momster took her children and got a GUN and then took their lives in the bathroom, execution style, pled guilty after telling people that Facebook made her do it, the internet made her do it, other people made her do it, sex trafficking, just making up stories, then pled guilty, 2 life sentences with a possibility parole after 20 years. What's up, Des? Happy Friday. I'll be back on at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. Everybody, you're driving. We miss you. Good to see you. Check out the guiltyofcrime.com page, Paul. We have a tribute for your daughter on there, Lauren DeMalo, and you're on there as well. Check it out. All right, let's watch the family as they plead to the judge for harsher sentencing before this happens. Now, keep in mind, Tiffanie was just crying in court. That was her bawling and sobbing. Never once have we seen her cry or anything. We don't see any emotion. We're going to watch the whole time. There's no emotion for anything at this point. I don't think she has emotion. I think she only cares about herself. What's up, Mama Sage? How you doing? Happy Friday. All right, this is heartbreaking. I'm going to say trigger warning here. This is the family pleading. Then we're going to have Cough coming on here, Jennifer Coffendoffer, to talk about this and what happened. It's a quick one, but then we have other clips. I'm doing a full episode right now, and then I'll come back at 4.
As you step up inside the witness box around the corner there.
This is Grandma.
When you get up in the witness box, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony which you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Have a seat there in the black chair. Make yourself comfortable. Pull up to that microphone as close as you can, and please speak loudly for the question. Mr. Taylor.
Ms. Rowan, I understand you're very upset, so if you need some time to compose yourself, we'll allow it. Would you like to proceed?
I'm ready.
Ms. Rowan, you are Jayden's grandmother, is that correct?
Yes.
And would you like to address the court with your victim impact statement?
I didn't realize I was muted. Yes, parole. She's still life with parole, and I believe I'm not muted anymore. Sadie's mom. I was muted for a second. My bad. They have family that are pleading. They said they would take them, and yet still nothing. No, I'm not muted anymore, y'all. It was just a second. The dog was barking. All right. What was her relationship with the family before she committed these crimes? You should see all 3 parts. They called CPS and they wanted and pled for those boys. All right. They absolutely would have taken them, and you'll hear it right now.
Yes. When you're ready, go ahead.
You know we love Jayden and Maurice. You know Jayden was the only thing we had left. And you took him from us. You know I had already lost his dad. And then my other son. And then you took Jayden. You have ripped our lives apart. And you know that you could have gave them kids to us, and we would have took care of them. But you have been selfish. My heart is in pieces. And you know that you have always had a place to drop them off. You took him from me, and I hurt every day.
Now, this lady lost her son as well. So this is Grandma. Her son died, but she was still being a good grandma to Jayden. But both families, Jayden and Maurice, even though they had 2 different fathers, one died, the other one stepped in. The one you saw before this, she lost her son, and now she lost her grandson. And you know, she didn't lose them. This monster, Lucas, executed those boys. All right, let's keep going.
Every second of the day, I hurt. And I hope they give you 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. I want you to suffer just like I'm suffering right now. They did not deserve that. You took my little man from me. And we all love him so much. Jayden and Maurice. Oh, I remember the time he called me. Nana told me he loved me. And it took him forever to come up with me. But Jayden is our blood. Oh God, oh Lord, give me strength. You have hurt so many people, Tiffany. Jayden had cousins that loved him. Melody and Torn. Torn sleeps with a teddy bear and a picture of Jayden every night. I don't have nothing else to say. She just knows she knows she done ripped us apart.
Mr. Taylor, any additional questions?
No other questions.
Any questions from the defense? No. Is this witness free to be?
All right, we're going to go on to the next one. You guys are going to see snippets of this. After this, I also have some footage from the ring cam that they played in court of her going to the neighbor's house and telling them that she just took her boys' lives, executed them, and those were the neighbors that we watched on body cam that went over to her house and found them dead in the bathroom. The wife was pregnant, the one that found him. Absolutely heartbreaking. Not a lot of people are covering this. They do let her have a chance for parole. They do. And she's eligible for parole after 20 years. She did not get the death penalty because she pled guilty. Absolutely not justice, in my opinion. And that's why I'm here covering this case, because I don't feel like this is justice. Susan Smith, that's not justice either.
Excuse.
Yes, sure.
Thank you, ma'am. You're welcome to have a seat back in the courtroom or leave the courthouse. Who does the Commonwealth call next?
Call Bobbie Baker.
Look,
Ms. Baker, can you please go around the witness box, right up this way, around over here.
My goodness, you can just feel the pain that Regina Rowling is feeling. She is the grandmother of victim Jayden Howard. And even though Maurice Baker isn't her blood, she even noted how eventually he started calling her Nana, too.
Look at her face.
She was a grandma to both of those beautiful boys and told Tiffanie Lucas, you know, you always had a place to drop them off. So if she no longer wanted her kids, they had a place to go with the loving grandmother we just saw. That was moving. I tell you what, I don't.
There comes the next one, and I love that these people are talking to her. They stare her down while they're in that chair. They're not talking to the court. They're talking to Tiffanie Lucas. Both sides of the family love those little boys, called CPS over and over, and yet this still happened. How does that happen? Graciela, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm glad you're there, Sue. I can't not cover this case. Let's keep going.
I don't know how there's not it could be a dry eye in that courtroom right now after that. That was tough. And the heartbreak's going to continue.
This is, in fact, breaking news, Stormcat. This happened at 9 a.m. this morning. She was sentenced. Tiffanie Lucas was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole for both boys. She is eligible for parole in 20 years this morning. We've been covering this case, Stormcat, so we needed to see it through. Thank you.
Continue for her. It's not over today. This is just some closure today with sentencing. We'll hit a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about victims Jayden Howard.
Life sentence without the possibility of parole. I want you to suffer just like I'm suffering right now.
That was Jayden Howard's grandma, Regina Rowling, addressing defendant Tiffanie Lucas, talking about how Tiffanie brutally took the lives of her little grandson, Jayden, and his brother, Maurice Baker, who loved Regina just like his own grandmother. He called her Nana. Now, let's go to the next impact statement. This is going to be from Maurice's aunt. Let's take a look.
Maurice, but I consider myself Jayden's aunt as well.
I understand. Would you please read your internet statement for the court?
Tiffanie, on November 8th, 2023, you changed the lives of two beautiful boys. You broke my brother's heart, my heart, and the heart of anyone who have encountered them. Jayden and Maurice didn't see you for who you really are. They loved you so much, but at the end of the day, you became what children their age fear the most, a monster. Not for 1 minute do I believe, like you said, you were in a hard spot. You had support in so many ways that you could have used. Like I often told you when we spoke, being a good mom is also making the decision that you can't give the boys the best life and allowing another parent to step in. But you refused to do so selfishly because it wouldn't align with what social media saw. Instead, you decided to play God and decide the boy's faith. I often see these court shows where the defendants are forgiven by the victim's family, but not today, not by me. I will never forgive you. I struggle and often wonder what else kind of pain did they endure at the hands of you before you ultimately took their life. Part of this statement I was gonna write, I hope every day you close your eyes that they haunt you, but I don't. You don't deserve to see them, and they shouldn't see you. If he decides to give you any kind of leniency today and grant you parole at some point, bitch, I'll be there at every parole hearing. Do you hear me? I'll be there at every parole hearing.
Did you hear that? She said, bitch, I'll be at every parole hearing. I love these families. They love those boys so much. And I love that they're talking right to her. She never changes the nasty, sour face of hers, by the way. Tiffanie Lucas doesn't change at all. I'm going to show you afterwards when we're done with this. I'm going to show you when she pled guilty. I'm going to show you that she told the judge she took her boy's life, still looking like she's sucking on a lemon the entire time. Nasty, resting bitch face. I love that she just said, bitch, I'll be at every parole. And I do believe her. I do. Yeah, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Let's get this in the algorithm. Not many people are covering this case. Yeah, these families are outraged, and I'm sure we're going to hear about it very soon. This just happened this morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time, sending love to the families. And I hope they see this. I hope they see that we're sending love to them. I know that the prosecution knows that this is out, so I hope they see this and they see what love that we're putting out for the boys, Jayden and Maurice.
Hold on, ma'am. Just a moment. Hold on. They may have more questions.
I have no further questions.
There are questions from the defense. Yeah. Then you can go ahead and leave now. Thank you. Mr. Taylor, who is the Commonwealth call next?
Paul, that's a good question. Why'd she kill her kids? Because she said the internet told her to do it. Wi-Fi told her to do it. Something in her head, someone on the internet made her do it. We don't know why she did it. We don't ever know why people would take the lives of their children. There's never a reason for it. We don't know.
Naomi Crawford.
Ms. Crawford, would you please go around past the witness box and watch your step as you step inside? When you're inside the witness box, please turn around, face me, and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony which you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please have a seat in the chair. Pull up that black microphone as closely as you can and speak loudly with the question. Ms. Taylor, Mr. Taylor.
And Ms. Crawford, what's your relationship to the victims in this case? Maurice?
Yes.
And what would you like to tell the court?
I just want to tell the court and mainly Tiffany that you took away our chance to have a relationship with my nephew. When my brother called me, I wonder how he's doing, and I asked him so quickly, I hope he's okay. Because I remember how you broke him. So at 12:30 at night when he calls me, if I don't answer that phone, if I don't see that phone call, I'm in such agony because I wonder, is he okay? Do you need me? That's my answer to him. His son is gone. You can never bring him back. And there is nothing and no amount of time that this court could give you that is fair. Life expectancy is about 70 years. You took 60 from them. Anything less than 60 for both of them, or each of them, is not even enough.
Ellie.
No further questions.
Any questions from the defense?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. She's free to be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may either go back to your seat or leave the courtroom.
Oh, this case is so.
Anybody would have taken those boys. She did have multiple eviction notices. Doesn't matter. They would have helped her out. They'd have done something. There's no excuse. She blamed Facebook. She blamed the Wi-Fi vibes in the air. She also mentioned sex trafficking kids. Someone wanted to sex traffic kids and they told her. So she took their lives to save them from being trafficked. All nonsense. Look at her face. Hello, Wolfpack. Good to see you. Happy Friday. All a bunch of nonsense. Watch her face throughout this. There's no remorse, no expression, no regard for those boys' lives.
Heartbreaking and so frustrating, isn't it? You see all of these wonderful women getting up there and talking about how much they love these babies. Any of them would have taken them. I'm sure they didn't have to die. Let me bring in our law enforcement analyst guest now, somebody who's a tremendous victims advocate. She has her own show, Break the Case with Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI.
Good to see you, Cough. See, I popped up this morning. I was like, Cough's on the case. That was pretty awesome. This happened this morning, and she gives a good breakdown. Hello, Anna. Good to see you. Wanda, we're upset with the case, but we need to follow it. We need to be aware of it. We need to look for the signs so this doesn't happen over and over. See something, say something. And just if that happens in your family or somebody close, something happens where you start seeing things like that, try to step in if you could. I know I do that. I've done that with my family for years. I don't know why, but the judge is never going to talk about it. Let's keep going.
FBI Special Agent Jen Coffindaffer here with us. Good morning to you, my friend. Oh, I know this breaks your heart. Tell us what you're thinking as you're watching this, please.
You know, it's so hard to listen to, Julie, but I love how our country does these sentencing hearings because you get to see the pain inflicted on all the people left behind. But Julie, I want to focus for just 1 second on the pain inflicted on these two boys. The hardest part about this case for me is that she shot them in the head. She took their faces from them. And I don't mean to get so graphic, but it's just so brutal. And I truly believe this is a case that deserves life without parole.
Absolutely, Jen. She deserves the harshest punishment possible for this, you know. And then when I know this frustrates you like it does me, you hear their grandma, Jayden's grandma, was the first one to say, I would have taken them. You always had a place to drop those kids off if you no longer wanted your kids or couldn't care for them for any reason. I think that's what's even more infuriating about this, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I agree. There are many cases where the mom didn't necessarily have anyone, and that's sort of the excuse. But this is the antithesis of that. This is somebody who had a big support system, seemingly, and also a system where she could have left those boys and they could have been raised by somebody else. In fact, one of the witnesses brought that up, that she offered that and said she needed to look introspectively at herself. Is she the best mom for those children? And instead, look at the course she chose to take.
Mm-hmm. Right. A great insight from you, as always, Jen. Thank you kindly for that.
Yeah, y'all go over to her. Go over to her channel and sign up for Break the Case with Jennifer Coffindaffer, aka Cough. Okay, let's watch this together and I'll answer questions. I'll kind of answer questions while we're taking a look at this. I didn't capture this part. I captured all the body cam and everything else. Yes, there were sentencing witnesses. We just watched some of the witnesses that came up. She should have got the death penalty, Paul, but she didn't because she pled guilty. That's what we're watching right now. She pleads guilty, no remorse. Watch her face. All of this. Stay in here, chat. The more you chat, the more interactive, the better we get in the algorithm. All right, check this out. Go forward a little. There she is. Look at her face. Same face as always. Doesn't care. No worries. Yay. Thank you. The deal of a lifetime, folks. Look at her face, Em. She has to be. Yeah, go back and rewind.
All rise. Will the circuit court's now in session, the Honorable Judge Rodney Burris presiding.
Thank you. Please be seated. Court call the case of Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Tiffanie Lucas. This is case number 23 CR 404. Record will reflect the Commonwealth is represented by the Honorable Bailey Taylor. The defendant appears today. He's represented by the Honorable Richard Lonzak and the Honorable Jonathan Villavicencio. I got that right. Close enough. Matter is put before the court on the defendant's motion to review the status of her plea. One of the defense attorneys like to address the issue.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time.
All right, before they get into it, this is the plea deal of a lifetime, in my opinion. Even Chris Watts didn't get that. Chris Watts is never coming out of prison. That guy is going to be in there forever for taking his family's lives. Why are they giving women deals like this? Why did Susan Smith get parole after, or a possibility of parole after 30 years? Why is this momster getting parole after 20 years? 2 life sentences isn't enough. And the way she did it, execution style. I cannot believe this. This is the deal right here, right now. Happy Friday, Em. Love you guys. Love you, Em. Chumba, good to see you. Yeah, this is it. This is where she pleads. Life with parole.
Ms. Lucas is prepared to enter a change of plea. We would enter an open plea to both charges as alleged in the indictment. We have a motion to enter a plea, our guilty plea form prepared today, so we can go forward with that. And we would just note for the record that this time there's no notice of aggravating circumstances filed in this case with the material condition of our interest in entering this plea.
The defendant at this time is charged with 2 counts of murder, both being capital offenses. You've indicated his desire to enter an open plea is intending to enter a plea of guilty to both of those charges.
Yes.
And it's an open plea, Mr. Taylor. I assume the Commonwealth is not making a recommendation there?
That is correct.
All right, I need counsel to approach the bench.
A little bit forward. I mean, all you really see is her face having no remorse. And yeah, writing a letter to the parole board doesn't do any good. They really don't. I don't know what they base it on, but it's like they definitely don't take it personal. That's for sure. Or this wouldn't be happening. I'll mute it for a second while I take a look at what you guys are doing. Don't forget to hit the like button, y'all. Gotta execute your own children. Total monster. Look at her just looking when she pleads. You're gonna hear her. She's gonna talk in a minute and she's gonna say she did it. She sounds like she's saying I went grocery shopping today. Nothing. And yes, Fact Foxy Amazon, she a hoe. She a hoe, all right. All right. Let's see if we can listen back in.
Microphone right in front of her, man. I think you're going to need to speak up just a little bit. Can I have your full name?
Tiffanie and Catherine Lucas,
Your address,
213 Beverly Drive, Shepherdsville, Kentucky.
your date of birth,
10/2/91,
and may I have the last four digits of your social security number?
0811.
How much education do you have?
High school.
That you can read and write?
Yes, sir.
Do you suffer now, or have you ever suffered from any mental illness or defect which would affect your ability to think and reason?
Listen.
No, sir.
At this
No.
time, are you ill, or are you in any way impaired in your judgment?
No, sir.
Are you under the
No.
influence of alcohol or any other type of drug?
No, sir.
Do you understand what's happening in court at this time?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, the indictment in this case charges in count one, on or about the 8th day of November of 2023 in Bullitt County, Kentucky. The above named defendant, Tiffanie Lucas, committed the offense of capital murder when she intentionally caused the death of J.H. by shooting him with a gun. Count two charges that on or about the 8th day of November of 2023 in Bullitt County, the above defendant, Tiffanie A. Lucas, committed the offense of capital murder when she intentionally caused the death of M.B. by shooting him with a gun. Now, ma'am, do you admit that you are the person named in that indictment?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the facts that you are charged with in that indictment?
Yes, sir.
Has your attorney explained to you the nature of the charges against you, their penalty, and any possible defense that you might have?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you have the following rights. You have a right to a trial by jury, where you will be represented by your attorney, and the Commonwealth will have to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have a right not to testify against yourself or incriminate yourself in any way. You have a right to confront and cross-examine any witness which the Commonwealth would produce to testify against you. You also have a right to appeal to a higher court any condition.
She has a right to appeal. She's never going to get an appeal. Paul, there's two baby daddies, two fathers. One died. The other one you're going to see. I'm going to play this 2-minute clip after this again so you can see this morning's sentencing. Well, I'm not going to show the sentencing again. I'm going to show what happened at the sentencing, and they'll show one of the fathers. Two dads, one's dead, one wanted his son, and she did this, took both of their lives. That's what evil looks like. Liv Wade, good to see you. Absolutely. Last time you saw her, she was high, she was talking nonsense, all drugged out on the ground. Now, she literally just said no. Nothing impaired her. She's not out of her mind. She's not crazy. She understands everything. Yes, yes, and yes. And yes, Judge, I'd like to save my life and take a plea deal. All right? She got sentenced this morning, 1 day less than a year, when she did this to her little boys. Yes, it was very quick. We'll watch that clip again after this, and then I want you to see video played in court the days before the murders and when she went to the neighbor's house and told them she took their lives.
Which you might receive at the jury trial in this court. Now, do you understand that you have those rights, but you do give them up when you enter a guilty plea?
Yes, sir.
Have you discussed your guilty plea with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Have you had all the time that you need to talk privately with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that you've asked your attorneys to do in your defense that they have failed to do?
No, sir.
Are you satisfied with their services?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I've been presented here with a written motion to enter a guilty plea. Did you read this motion?
Yes, sir.
And did you sign it voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And is it your wish at this time to enter a guilty plea which follows the recommendation that is contained in the written offer?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, would you approach the bench?
I'll lower that for you. Did you guys hear her little voice? Yes, sir. My name is Tiffanie Lucas, and I live in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. And I'm just a poor little girl that I couldn't take care of my boys, and I was selfish. I wonder if she had a female judge, if things would have gone like this. Probably not, Diaz. Probably, yeah. That's how they seem to go nowadays with these plea deals. Oh, she gave reasons. She gave reasons, and none of them were nonsensical.
Ms. Lucas, you have read this document. And you have initialed the paragraphs that do not apply to your case, is that correct? Is it your wish at this time to enter a guilty plea then to the charges in this case without a recommendation from the common? You understand, ma'am, that on each count, potential penalty is 20 to 50 years in prison or a life sentence, and that the counts could be concurrent, meaning at the same time, or they could be consecutive, meaning one right after the other. And have you discussed all of the issues relating to probation, parole, and other matters in this guilty plea with your attorney? And then it is your desire at this time to enter a plea of guilty to the 2 counts? Ms. Lucas, on count 1, do you admit and plead guilty to the offense of murder? On count 2, do you admit and plead guilty to the offense of murder? And you enter each of these pleas of your own free will because you are guilty and for no other reason? Knowing that you have the rights I've described to you, do you still wish to give up those rights and enter this guilty plea? Now, ma'am, you understand that by waiving your right to a jury trial, the court will be required to set your punishment within the limits allowed by law. It is your request that this happen this way. Counsel, I'm going to ask the defense attorney, do you acknowledge that you represent Ms. Lucas in this matter?
Yes, sir.
Do you acknowledge her identity?
I do.
And to explain to her the nature of the charges against her, their penalties, and any possible defenses she might have?
We have.
And explain to her her constitutional rights?
We have.
In your opinion, does she understand those rights and the nature of these proceedings?
Yep.
She does. Is her plea of guilty consistent with your advice?
It is.
And in your opinion, having conferred with the defendant, it's her decision to enter a guilty plea made knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently?
Yes, sir.
Court will then make a finding the defendant's plea is made knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently. Mr. Taylor, there is no recommendation from the Commonwealth at this time on a guilty plea. The Commonwealth will be allowed to ask for whatever you would like to ask for at the time of sentencing, as will the defense. The defense have a position on her parole eligibility at this time?
No, Your Honor, we understand she's not eligible for parole.
She might.
But she is eligible for parole because the sentencing. I'm going to play that again next. And good to see everybody that's here. Artist Gal 2424. Love. Thank you for being here. I hope that you're subscribed so that you get to interact with us and get the notifications. Bonnie says, I never caught a live. What you did today, I came on a pop-up live for the sentencing. You're going to listen after this. I'm glad you just got here.
I'm sorry,
Probation should not search for. You understand we'll need someone from probation and parole here, then, Mr. Taylor, to testify as to that on the sentencing. How long do you anticipate needing for the defense for sentencing?
I would imagine, Your Honor, maybe an hour and a half conservatively for our portion.
Mr. Taylor, how long do you anticipate needing for the prosecution?
I would think no more than an hour, Your Honor.
There she goes. All right, for those of you that just came in, welcome. Let me play this again real quick before I get into anything else so you can see. And hello, Lisa Lynn. Good to see you. I will be back on today at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So in a couple hours, I'll be back on. I did want to cover the sentencing. Here's the sentencing that happened this morning. Good to see you guys. Everybody, it's nice to spend lunch with you. Although covering these topics can be hard. Kentucky mom sends to life for fatally shooting her 2 sons.
Delivered today to Tiffanie Lucas, the Bullitt County mother who shot and killed her 2 boys. Our Ian Hardwick and photojournalist Addie Hill spent the morning in the courtroom, and some of the family we spoke to said that life sentence did not go far enough.
Brooke, many of the boys' family members said during victim testimony that they wanted Lucas to go away with life without parole. After this, she's eligible for parole within the next 20 years. Throughout the court hearing this case, Lucas's lawyers insisted the mother of 2 was having a psychotic episode. That came back up during closing arguments where they said Lucas believed her kids were the targets of a child sex trafficking conspiracy. The boys' families shook their heads at that, saying even if her mental break was brought on by drugs, Lucas brought it on herself. Bobbie Baker, Maurice's aunt, cared for little boy Jayden too, and says she'll be at every parole hearing going forward.
The only peace I have in this is knowing that you can't hurt them anymore. And
Thank you, Bonnie.
nobody's gonna ever be able to fix my brother's heart. Nobody can fix that.
There's the dad, y'all.
Baker's brother, Maurice's father, took the stand.
All right, so there's Maurice's father. There was Maurice and there was Jayden, 6 and 9 years old. Maurice's dad's here. Jayden's dad passed. They welcome both children. So nobody didn't want one of them because they were from two different dads. Everyone welcomed them and wanted them. And yet she still did this. Tiffanie Lucas still took their life. Bonnie, thank you. You're very welcome. There should have never been plea deals for this. I agree. And that's what we're hoping doesn't happen in the Stephen Stearns case. Life without parole isn't sending a very good message. I agree. I don't understand this at all.
And in a last-minute change of heart today in the courtroom, saying Lucas kept his kid away from him since the day he was born. And although the courtroom, the family members of those boys applauded as Lucas went away to serve that life sentence behind bars, they know their pursuit of justice will last as long as she's having those parole hearings. For now, I'm live in Shepherdsville. Ian Hardwick, WHAS 11.
All right, for those of you that just came in real quick, I'm just going to show you it's like a minute and 21 seconds. I'll play that again where the judge sentences her. Minute and 22 seconds. Here's the thing. He doesn't even have harsh words for her. It's really weird. It's not a harsh sentencing. It's just a sentencing. So another minute and 21 seconds of your life for those that just came in. And then I want to show you, because I don't understand how this happened. You'll see some things in court of the days before the boys got taken. I don't understand why this happens. I don't understand the reasoning. Hold on, let me start it over. The internet's being slow. Oh no, wait, what happened? Stop. Hold on. I'm sorry. 1 second. All right. Internet's slow today, but I'm glad you guys are here with me. I'm gonna be back on at 4 o'clock. Oh, come on. It keeps doing that, y'all. I'm trying to play it for you guys. No, and then it goes, no. It keeps going back to Madeline Soto. Madeline Soto's sending a message, y'all. Sending a message. We're gonna talk about her later on today and all the CSAM. There it is. All right. It keeps doing that. Look, it keeps going back to Madeline Soto. She really wants us to cover her case, which we'll do later. I don't understand why this is doing that though. All right, I gotta rewind it like back in the 80s, right? Where you have to sit there and rewind stuff. All right, there it is. Let's watch this together. Minute and 21 seconds.
Cannot imagine the sheer horror these children must have experienced seeing their mother with a gun.
What do you mean?
The sheer horror that second child had as he heard the discharge of that weapon for the first child. And maybe even both of them seeing their mother pull the trigger, taking their life. At this time, the court will state for the record, the court has considered the probation pre-sentence report, arguments of counsel, the contents of the file, and no sufficient reason having been shown by judgment not be pronounced in sentence imposed. Case number 23 CR 404, Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Tiffanie Lucas as to count 1. The court will adjudge the defendant guilty of the offense of murder and fix her sentence at life in prison. Count 2, the court will adjudge the defendant guilty of the offense of murder and fix her sentence at life in prison. This time, the court will order that the sheriff's department deliver the defendant to the custody of the corrections cabinet for service of her sentence of imprisonment. That's all for today. Court will be adjourned.
All right, that's it. That was really quick. It goes back to Maddie again. Maddie, we love you. Prayers for you. Yes, so she could have possibility of parole in 20 years. Now, Krista, I'm kind of not sure what you're asking. I always want to help you guys out and play and talk about everything, but I did. This is part 4 of the Tiffanie Lucas case, and we talked about her so much. So I'm gonna get on with this part. This is from the court video played inside the boys' days before the murders and up until when we watched the body cam. So we watched the body cam. And the judge explained nothing. We watched the body cam, but we didn't see this stuff because this is like the Ring doorbell. It's hard to see a little because they have it on a screen, but I want you guys to hear it. And since we're already here, we've been here for 50 minutes together. We might as well spend another 10 minutes watching this, and then I'll let you guys get back to your business. Diaz, her face and her vibe is disgusting. I agree. The whole thing is disgusting, and I'm really upset that the judge didn't read her rights, so to speak, and tell her what a despicable mother she is and a poor excuse. He didn't do any of that. He did none of that. No, more. They were not. They were shot execution style in her bathroom. No boys were sleeping. Go back and watch part 1, 2, and 3 in the in my playlist called Tiffanie Lucas. This is part 4, sentencing. Oh, you were there? Oh, you were there? You're local? All right.
This is her house. Blue, I'm sorry. Blue, you need to go. This is my place, not yours. You need to go. I need you. I need you. Yeah, God is helping me. And I'm just I need to remember. I need to have a team. I need family.
So they're actually transcribing on the side. This is a doorbell here. This is somebody's ring, and you can see Tiffanie saying, I need to be a mother. I need good people around me. And then she says, and it's an issue. I need you to come help. Help me clean my house and get my kids right. That's what she's saying. This coming from the neighbors. This was played in court. Yes, 2 life sentences. No, 20 years she'll be eligible for parole, Michelle. Ugh, I'm so disgusted by this. All right. She's been heavy drug takes away your personality. Okay, all right, but she's been like that the whole time. So yeah, it's for prisoners, you say. Is she sober now? She's sober but numb from drugs. She's been on drugs for many years. Mods, can some of the mods, I haven't really seen links. I don't know if they're not coming through, but can you guys drop a link to the new Guilty of Crime website, please? Thank you. I don't know if I don't see the links or what, but I want everyone to go check out guiltyofcrime.com. There's cool new merch and everything's on the site you can think about. Anything and everything. Come on, Blue. Thank you. Guiltyofcrime.com. Oh. Remember, this is days before. They're playing this in court. She went out and took her kids out to eat there. You can't hear anything, but she wasn't comprehending what anything I was saying. I looked at her and she was in her own world, is what they're saying here. Server 2 is saying she kept looking behind her as if somebody was behind her, like she was running from something, maybe. So she was in there days before. She took her children to eat at this little diner and she was being paranoid then. So they're showing this to show you that what was going on with her just in the days prior to this. And I'm trying to read that for you. This one says she didn't really seem normal. Server number 2. Again, this is what they showed in court. Mrs. Hippie, good to see you. No one else is covering this. I know. That's crazy. And that's why I'm covering it. Yes, I appreciate it. Guiltyofcrime.com, y'all. We need to post more links during the live. I don't ever see them, but we've got lots of links, and it's free to hit the like button and subscribe. So, we're a fan-funded channel. Anything helps. I appreciate it. All right. She didn't even eat. Server number 1 said she didn't eat. She didn't say 2 words to me because she was just so it looked like she was numb. She was shaky, trying to count her money, and she started crying, you guys. They're not talking. I'm reading this. This is the footage that when she took her boys, and the servers are testifying about how she was acting. Server 2 says she now believes Tiffanie was reaching out for help, but nobody knew what she was doing. So I'm going to say, since she didn't eat, she probably was doing drugs. She looked like she did not know where she was, kind of deal. She was like just out of it, basically. So right here, they're not talking. They're just showing her. She probably owed money for drugs. No, she owed money for her house. It says she was weird looking right through us. She was not talking. She didn't seem like she was okay, y'all. She did not seem like she was okay. And then Wednesday morning, November 8th. All right, here we go. There's volume here. Sorry, I'm trying to get to it. She's okay. I'm going to pause this real quick because this is where she goes to the neighbors and pleads for help. This is a Ring camera at 11:09 a.m. Okay, I'm going to turn the volume back up. You're welcome, Marilyn. I really want this full story to be captured. Yeah, wouldn't know anything about it if not for Jay. Well, thank you, Tracy. I appreciate it. Yeah, Maddie does want me to talk about her, and I will at 4:00. No justice. I agree. Let's watch this. It's crazy. How could you not cover this case? You okay? You all right?
Who's this? Is she okay? Where's the kids? She's a boy. I have to pay her.
Actor. All right, there she is on the ground. She went and told the neighbors that she just shot her children. So the first round of officers came and arrested her, and they put her on the ground in their driveway, and that's where the Ring camera was coming from. All right, and now we're going to see the first set of cops, and then you guys can go back and watch episode number 1, 2, and 3 that shows complete body cam footage from that day. Now, Annette, this is Tiffanie Lucas, 32 at the time, killed her 2 boys execution style in her home. I have a playlist called Tiffanie Lucas. This is part 4. Thank you for being here.
I got one thing on the table. No. Are you injured? Huh? Are you injured? What you got going on? Nothing. I think she just shot kids. She's good. Don't do the kids. She's good. She got no daughter. I'll check it with her. I'll get up for something comes up.
Tiffany's crying.
You want to say where I've already trained next door, that's the mom. So, can you tell me what happened, man? So my kids are down in there. So I just went in there and found something like that. Where's the kid? Where's the guy at? It's still in there. So I ended up shoving. Okay.
This is the body cam we didn't see. The neighbor says it jammed up. The gun jammed up. That's what she told them when she went to shoot the boys. The gun jammed up, everybody. So this is the first body cam before everything else. I have 190 people in chat on a pop-up live. That's fantastic. Do not forget, if you like the way I present true crime, to please hit the like button. Jack Stormo, welcome. I'll be back in 2 hours to go over all of the sold. CSAM, was it sold? Did they buy it? The Maddie case. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I finished this case. She received a life sentence for both boys. She was definitely more concerned about anything else than the boys.
Yeah. Hearings? You what? You shot yourself in here. What's here? I don't see anything.
No.
There's nothing there.
All right, so I want to remind you guys the full body cam, all 4 parts are on the first 3 episodes. I want you guys to go watch that. The interview room, you can't really see it well here, but over there it's in full color and full. You'll hear all of the talking and all the things going on. So today I did a pop-up live. I'll be back on. I covered finally the rest of this case. All 4 parts are out. I wasn't going to cover this today. I just wanted to let you guys know. And then I decided Court TV wasn't covering it. So I wanted to make sure you guys all were able to see this. Definitely sick and twisted, unconceivable. I can't believe it. All right. For all the new people that are here, thank you for joining us. I'll see you all at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to have a really good conversation today. Really good conversation. It's going to be a conversation. Then Sunday, I'm going to be on at 1 p.m. to do the members only live. The members only live is going to be very interactive with you people. So you people are going to be what makes our live. I want to discuss it with you, what you think about everything. Good to see you, PGH Deb 412. Sunday at 1 p.m. I'm going to put that up here when I get off, and I'll be back. Happy Friday. I know this is a tough case, but we want to spread this so we can get justice for those boys, whether it's just making sure people show up at the parole hearing. When in 20 years from now, when parole comes up, we really do want to see them stick by and go to that parole hearing. Even people that write letters in, random civilians that write letters in, you guys do that. It helps at parole hearings. Trust me, when there's people that oppose parole, it's so helpful to keep these crazy monsters in prison. All right. Yeah. Thunder Maiden, go binge the playlist. There's 4 of them to watch. Do that. Go watch them. Happy Friday. Say a prayer for Jayden and Maurice. I love you guys. I cannot wait to see you later. Have a good one. Goodbye. Guilty of crime.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?